BFM 89.9, I'm Audrey Raj with your World Cup Quickie. Colombia top Group C with a 4-1 win over Japan this morning. Impressive football, impressive goal celebrations. Uruguay finished second in Group D after a 1-0 win over Italy. That match, of course, will go down in World Cup history for all the wrong reasons. Luis Suarez, in an off-the-ball moment, seemed to bite Italian defender Giorgio Chiellini's shoulder. Seriously? Seriously? Why does he keep doing this? It's not the first time, it's not the second time, it's the third time he's done this. Feed the child before you let him on the pitch lah. Chiellini, of course, then ran after the referee to show him the bite marks on his shoulder, and coincidentally, the Mexican referee in charge of the match, his nickname is Dracula. Go figure. No action was taken for Suarez's bite on the pitch, but he could face a 2-year suspension from international football if he's found guilty by FIFA. FIFA are investigating the incident, and Liverpool have apparently also called for an emergency meeting to discuss his future at the club. There will be more action tonight and hopefully non-teeth gnashing action. Group F will see Argentina play Nigeria and Bosnia play Iran, while in Group E we have Honduras taking on Switzerland and Ecuador playing France. For now, let's move on to Aziff with the morning headlines.
Good morning, you're watching Morning Headlines. I'm Aziff and it's the 25th of June. Now we're going to start today's news by calling for what the police say. Get Ridzuan. What you gonna do when they come for you?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
So IGP Khalid has finally decided that Ridzuan has been dodging the law and has given an arrest order. So the report has said that Ridzuan is most likely in Kelantan and the police are finally taking action, right? I guess it's good news for the mother who has been in a dilemma for the past few months. So what comes up from this we'll probably know in a few weeks to come, whether they catch him or not. But anyway, on to the second news. We have the Star today, which runs on the headline Heat, Haze and Dengue. So apparently now we are in a time of apocalypse. Now the haze has made its annual return, fires in Sumatra burning, and of course we're getting the end of it. Just this morning, the API levels were up to 92, which is quite unhealthy when you really think about it. But apart from that, we're also facing the heat. The El Nino is plaguing us. It's been very hot lately, and people are not happy. And there's also dengue, which of course records more than 1,000 cases every week. Now, it's very dangerous time out there. It's a very bad time for all Malaysians out there. So, you know, just be careful, stay at home. Now, Sinar Harian, of course, makes into an inquiry of social story. It's a follow-up story on Firdaus, the boy who was left behind by his mother and found in a very terrible condition. So here you have the headline, Mana Silapnya, what went wrong? And apparently, the case here is that the mother actually earns up to 2,000 ringgit a month, including allowances. And I guess what's more disappointing is that the stepfather from the second marriage, the child's from the first marriage, just in case you didn't know, the stepfather from the second marriage apparently knew about the boy's condition and how he was like. So this is a question of negligence, right? And I guess it's also a question to why was this even allowed to go up, you know, to this extent, right? The boy is, of course, in better news. The boy is now being treated in a hospital and he might go into welfare. Whatever it is, negligence is a big thing. Now on to the next news. We have Putusan Malaysia, which is continuing on to its supposed exposés of diesel smuggling. So apparently it's gone down by 30%. Good for us. Although the end game for all this is actually part of the subsidy rationalization and people taking advantage of the system, right? What I want you to focus here also is a very nice picture of PM Najib looking out here. What is this about? Let's look at the next news. We have New Straits Times and also the Malay Mail. Finally, Najib has came out to officiate KLIA 2. It's a happy moment for all of us. Of course, he says there are 39 more airports which are down the pipeline, which are going to be established in the country for the next few years. But I think this also brings us to a very, very interesting story. So while all the other papers are praising Najib for the launch of KLIA 2, being happy and all, being celebratory, we have the ad choices, which is a bit more hard-hitting, and thank you for being that so, because we have the headline, in-depth audit on cost of KLIA 2. So how did the initial cost of 1.9 billion shoot up all the way to 4 billion? So an audit is going to be done on KLIA 2 to find out what really happened and where did the money go to, right? And I think it's very interesting. It's good. We need the sense of accountability to know where it went to. Hishamuddin, of course, hasn't given us a concrete number of costings, but he's going to announce it very soon. So I guess the question here is like, was KLIA 2 worth the long wait? Was it even worth up to 4 billion? And I think the cost also plays in the part that it was built on a swampland, right? So maybe those are one of the factors that you have to take into account. I guess all Malaysians want more accountability to know where their money went to and why they shoot up all the way to 4 billion. That's a hell lot of money. Also, what I want to highlight, which is buried in NST, if you look inside NST today, you have the headline, Government Probes Death of Locals Abroad. Now, this is in reference to 15 Malaysians who are found dead who took part in the ISIS war in Syria and of course Iraq. Now, what's interesting is that this comes in light of Najib's statement yesterday that UMNO should be as strong and valiant and brave as ISIS members, right? So, self-fulfilling prophecy? Who knows? The word of the day I'm going to leave you with is neglect. Neglect. Are we neglecting our responsibility to take care of the child, Firdaus? Are we neglecting our role to play in, making sure that Indonesia doesn't repeat its annual return of the haze? And are we neglecting looking and probing into the high ballooning costs of KLI2? Negligence all around us. That's all I have for you this morning for Morning Headlines. I'm Aziff for BFM 89.9.